Hi, this is Rick. I'm here in my studio, and you're visiting my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. Once again this year, I decided to put together a series of holiday card videos that you can share with your friends and family. I post all the content on the project page of my website. If you go there, you'll find the links for the videos, links for the templates that I use for the cards, and reference photos of the cards themselves. And they're all 5 by 7 inches, and you can put those on a blank greeting card stock or just on regular watercolor paper, whatever you choose. But I hope you enjoy watching this series and enjoy painting them and sharing with your friends and family. This is Rick in the studio, and I'm ready to begin this miniature holiday painting, and you're looking at the template for this, and you'll find this template on the project page of my website, and you can find the link to that in the description. But this is the template, a little snow scene here with some trees, some big snowflakes, and I'll have some texture of snowflakes in this. Little house here on a hill with some distant trees. So that's the template that you can access on my website. And before I start to paint, I'm going to do some masking on this. I've got these snowflakes here. And for those, I'm going to use this fine line masking bottle. And I'm going to just make these little shapes that kind of represent snowflakes. You'll see these in a lot of the little holiday cards that I've done if you've done some of these. So I'm just making some little marks here to represent big snowflakes, and then I'll have all kinds of little snow flying with some texture. You don't need a lot of pressure when you're using these bottles. You don't need to squeeze real hard. It kind of writes like a rolling pen almost. So there's one, and here's another. And if you don't like to work with masking fluid, you don't need to do it this way. You could come in afterwards with some white ink or opaque paint. I like to stay transparent with my watercolor, so I use this method. And that's all I'm going to do with this bottle, but I am going to splatter some masking fluid on here to represent the snow that's flying. So I'll take a toothbrush, take a jar of masking fluid, dip it in there and rub it off. You can squeeze it in there with a bottle, however you want to do that. And then I'm going to splatter it around, and I'm going to tap it on my hand. When you tap it on your hand, you'll get some bigger drops than what you do when you splatter it with just pulling back the bristles. So I like to do both, and that gives me a variety of the texture. And sometimes you do get some drops that are a little too big. And when you do, all you have to do is let these dry, and before you paint, take off any that you don't really care for. I want to make sure that I get a little bit over this tree here. I don't really kind of miss that. All right, that's probably enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that air dry, and then I'm going to paint. Alright, this is Rick back in the studio, and all my masking fluid is dried, and I'm going to flip this one over to start, and I'm going to take some royal blue in my brush. I'm going to grab just a little bit of this orange just to gray it down and feel it more like a wintry blue. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to probably actually go with a little smaller brush so I can get a quicker gradation here. Now I'm going to take some clear water. And we'll go with that. Probably be just a little darker here. There we go. And same color here. I just wanted to get a little darker mixture. And take some water. So I'm just working kind of negatively to describe these edges of the slope here. We're working in negative space to describe some of that. And now here, I'm gonna lift a little of that moisture out so I can keep this kind of separate. Now again, I'll take some clear water, soften that. And a little touch over here. Okay, get this water that's came dripped down here. All right, now I'm going to dry that and I'm going to flip it over. So that's dry. I flipped it over. Now we can see the edges of the slopes. And now I'm going to do the top, the sky. And I didn't do that upside down because I wanted to have it darker up here, and I'm going to get a little lighter as I bring it to the horizon. So I opted just to do this one right side up. So I'll get some of my royal blue, touch of the orange, a little more of the blue. All right, so now I'm just going to start up here with my wash. I'm going to bring that across. And start to add some water to my brush. So I'm loading my brush now with water. I'm actually going to paint around a few of these shapes. Pick up some of that extra moisture. I'm going to lift a little of that out. That'll give me a fresher color when I paint that. So I'm going to paint these. Get a smaller brush here. Start to paint around these shapes a little bit. Keep this wash coming down. That'll just keep that color. I paint this trees and this tree line just a little fresher than if I had painted this blue all the way down. I might lift this out. There we go. Okay, so I want to dry that. Okay, that's dry. And I'm going to take a number 6 round brush. I'm going to add a little sap green to this mixture I have here. So royal blue with some sap green, has a little orange in it. Or actually royal blue with a little orange in it, then I added the sap green. And it's a bit of a blue green. And now I'm going to paint just some tree line, trees up here, forming a tree line. So I'm not trying to get too detailed or anything, just to show this tree line here. You can add trees, take away trees, whatever you want to do. And so I have some trees there in the distance. And now I've got some trees here that are close. And I'm going to try and paint these and leave a little bit of the white just to suggest maybe some snow has fallen on them. All right, now I'm going to get this tree. You might get just a touch of a darker value and get the sides. And now I'm going to dry that. So everything's dry. I want to clean these colors off my palette. And we'll switch to something else. So I got that off my palette. And I'm just going to take a round brush, and this is gamboge. And I'm going to paint these windows as if the lights are on. I'm going to take this is cobalt blue, and I'm going to paint just so it looks like there's a little bit of snow on the rooftops here. The feeling of snow. Now I want to dry that. I'm going to paint the little house. That's dry. So now we'll take a little alizarin crimson, and let's see. I'll add. We'll take some raw sienna maybe. And I'm going to paint the house. Paint over the door. I'm painting around the windows. Let's see, I'm going to take a little bit of water. See if I can get a slightly lighter value as I go over this way. So I'm painting this as one continuous shape. Then I'll come back with just a slightly darker value. I'm going to paint the little chimneys the same color. And now let me dry that. See, that's dry. So now I'm going to get a number 4 round brush. I'll take some alizarin crimson. Add a little, let's see, we'll add a little raw umber to that. And I'll take some of my cobalt blue. I want to get a little darker. Add some water. I'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to go a little darker on this section. I'll go up a little darker under here. Okay, now I want to dry that again. I'm going to take a little royal blue, maybe some raw umber. I'll take raw umber here. I'm going to paint a dark door. And I'm gonna just put some darker accents on a few places. Show some edges. A little bit in the window. And now perhaps just a little of this darker green, blue-green. She touches out here just to balance that darker value. And let's see. Take some blue. Alright, let me dry that. Good. I think I want to go a little darker over here. I want a little more variation in this section of the house than the other one, so just drop in a slightly darker value there. And let's see, now we're ready to dry that, take off the masking fluid. Okay, take off the masking fluid. Show the big snowflakes and the snow that's blowing around. And if there's any marks you don't particularly care for, you can touch it up with a little bit of paint. I'm going to put the little mat around it. So there we go. Here's another little miniature holiday painting. Hope you enjoy this, have fun painting, and enjoy the holidays.